As we move on in the program, and you've heard about the marking of the 50th year of the founding of the Muslim Students Association, many of the leaders are often mentioned in the history books and on the stages, and many of the workers and other leaders simply have never been mentioned or rarely been mentioned. Tonight, we recognize one such person who originally came from Hyderabad, India in 1963. And I'm not sure who the travel agent was, but he chose to study in the coldest place in America, Minnesota. So he left Hyderabad in '63 and went to the University of Minnesota for graduate engineering studies. He was the earliest proponent of printing literature for dawah, for inviting others to the message of Islam, but also to print literature to teach Muslims about their own religion as students were coming from different parts of the world. When they wanted to print the literature, the mainstream presses refused to print the Muslim literature in the 1960s. The Muslim students were not deterred. They did not back down. They didn't cry out to say, now what will we do? They simply turned to each other and said, let us put together the funds. If they won't print our literature, we will buy our own printing press and set up our own publishing house. And that's exactly what they did, mashallah, tabarakallah. And you have, as a result of that, the purchase of what now present day exists as International Graphics and Printing Services in Beltsville, Maryland, doing great work even today, along with the sister partnership with Amana Publishing. Along with printing at that time of the literature, there came to be a much greater need from the Muslim community, the fledgling Muslim community, mostly students, some professionals, and their families, looking for zabiha meat. How would they get access to now what has been commonly called as halal meat, which I won't get into the differences now. But you understand because you eat it every day and you look it up on zabiha.com. So they actually went to the eastern shore of Maryland here, not more than about 40, 50 miles from here, and were able to get access to a facility where they could literally begin by hand slaughtering chickens and preparing the meat, mashallah, tabarakallah, for consumption by so many of the Muslims, not only here, but as it became around the US. All of the profits of these early ventures went right back in to building and growing the businesses. No one personally benefited, and you could see the stories upon stories of how they lived. In fact, this person that I'm speaking about now was also known to be working literally day and night. On some nights, they would find him literally sleeping in the printing house because now we have timers and all these kinds of technology for the printing press. Sometimes in those days, you wouldn't know when something may go wrong, and they would find him sleeping on a piece of cardboard right there in the printing press, subhanAllah, to make sure everything went well. As he left as he left corporate America to join the Muslim Student Association and the work that it was doing, he was known to be a great advocate of more literature, increased services for Muslims, and indeed, he went on to build his own business separately called Halalco Meat and Books, which if you come to Virginia, in Falls Church, Virginia, not very far from here, you'll find this store. It sells now, mashallah, not only the meat and the books and the Islamic clothing, it has its own restaurant. All of these things came from the vision of one of the young men who came to study and then ultimately ended up spending his time not in corporate America, but serving Muslims. Muslim students and families over many generations have come to benefit from the tireless work and sacrifices of hundreds and thousands of these early pioneers and workers. Allah knows best. We could have spent the entire convention simply mentioning their names and honoring their families. Brothers and sisters, I speak of no one else except your brother, my brother, by now a grandfather to many, Brother Abdul Mateen Chida from Hyderabad, India, presently living in Falls Church, Virginia. He is sick, unable to join us today. He has sent a very brief video, but I will invite, inshallah ta'ala, the Vice President of ISNA, Brother Azhar Azeez, to bring Sister Maimoona, the wife of Brother Abdul Mateen Chida, to the stage as Imam Majid also comes, so that we can recognize this humble man and his family, inshallah, as we commemorate the 50th anniversary of the founding of the Muslim Students Association. Please watch this video, and inshallah we'll present the award in just 1 minute.
I'm sorry that I am not able to attend this session because of my illness, and which has made me very weak. I have been associated with the MSA since 1964, the year following its formation. In 1963, I have not done anything spectacular for the MSA. Whatever I have done has been just some simple tasks. MSA has grown from a small student organization to a large national organization as it changed its name from Muslim Student Association to Islamic Society of North America. It was my honor to be associated with MSA during the early part of my student life. I will encourage the executive committee and its members to keep up their good work, help them to serve the Muslim community, not only here in the United States, but all over the world.
Assalamu alaikum. Presented to Muhammad Abdul Mateen Chida, the Islamic Society of North America. This award is presented to you in recognition of your pioneering ways and untiring efforts for serving the cause of Islam in North America and society at large. The 50th Annual ISNA Convention, August 31st, 2013.
Thank you. My husband asked me to say, may MSA continue to grow and
Takbir.